Hey everybody, Chris Perillo here with 2 hands on the wheel and 4 eyes on the road. Just getting ready to turn left as soon as the traffic lets up, maybe a while. Either way, I wanted to post this video based on the news today that Steve Jobs is continuing treatment of his pancreatic cancer and allegedly has mere weeks to live. I happened to tweet this earlier, something along the lines of, if Steve Jobs dies, so will a little part of me. And I said that with all seriousness. Of course, it was retweeted quite a number of times. But one individual, a kid, responded with something that I thought was so beyond rude. I'm not going to name any names, but it was something along the lines of, I will celebrate. And he's a kid, so I forgive him for that, but he's also a geek. And the thing is, even if you don't like Apple or Steve Jobs, you can't deny that they've both influenced you in some way, shape, or form. And losing that inspiration is not something to celebrate. Even if you, again, don't like Apple. If you hate Steve Jobs. The way the world works is inspiration. Art inspires art. People inspire people. Technology inspires technology. And speaking as someone who really didn't care that much about Apple or Steve Jobs up until recently, pause before saying something so incredibly short-sighted. And the sad thing is, even though this was a kid who tweeted that, I'm pretty sure there are adults who would say something similar about the loss of this leader, this visionary. Whether or not you liked anything he did, you cannot deny he influenced and he inspired. So I don't think it's a matter of if Steve Jobs dies. It's when. And unfortunately, I believe that when will come far too soon. Can't really say much more about that. Just going to put it out there today that at any point in the future, whether it's next week, next month, next year, next decade, next century, when it happens, just keep in mind that whether you liked it or not, Steve Jobs inspired something in your life, directly or indirectly. And to celebrate the loss of his life is making you look bad. And I would not consider you someone worthy of my respect were you to say something rude about any visionary leaving this earth long before their time. And I'm sure there will be plenty of rude comments posted in the thread. Unfortunately, you're showing your lack of foresight and understanding and compassion to celebrate someone's death. Especially when they've inspired so much. Apple's in business. Jobs is a CEO. But like it or not, he's also a leader. And that's the kind of leadership that we've all been influenced by in this technology space. Every single one of us geeks. To celebrate someone's death. I cannot believe I read that. I can't believe that a human being would say that. Someone who could communicate effectively would say that. Honestly, to say that you would celebrate Steve Jobs' death makes you less than human. Mind you, I'd say the same thing if we were talking about Steve Ballmer. And don't make direct comparisons to contributions. It's not about that. Before his most likely untimely death, before that happens, please, just think about what you're saying. You're not a geek to me anymore. Seriously, if you say anything of the like, anything, I will have lost every ounce of respect for you. It's unforgivable to celebrate someone's death. There are rare exceptions. You would celebrate the death of someone who has caused nothing but death. Steve Jobs, while not a perfect human being, certainly none of us are, I think has done more good than anything. It's running a business. But it's just been more than that, right? Spreading influence. Giving us experiences. And I just can't help but think, what would have happened if some of our current visionaries in the realm of consumer electronics met their untimely demise before they've had a chance to inspire in one way or another? Could you imagine if Linus Torvalds was killed in a car accident a week before he posted that message to Usenet? Could you imagine a world without Linux? I don't want to imagine a world without Steve Jobs, no more than I want to imagine a world without Bill Gates, no more than I want to imagine a world without anybody who leads. Because this is the thing that separates you from them. Instead of spending their time trolling and doing nothing, they're doing something. And unfortunately, I would go as far as to say, unfortunately, 90% of the people who likely comment on this video have done nothing with their lives. Nothing. And sadly, they will likely continue to do nothing with their lives. So take this as a call to action. Become the next Steve Jobs. Become the next Bill Gates. You have that power in you so that 50 years from now, the world would mourn your loss and be inspired by the things you did. Because if you're not providing inspiration, quite honestly, you're taking up space. You're wasting your life. If I catch any one of you celebrating or being overjoyed with this news, unforgivable. Unforgivable. You're welcome to leave a comment if the comment thread remains open. You're free to contact me on Twitter, although I doubt you'll do it because it's easier to stay safe behind the mask of anonymity. Don't know. I'm almost wanting to just leave the comments open to video responses only, because I think we deserve to see your face and know who you are. Actually, now that I think about it, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Video comments only. What do you guys think? I'll even let it through if you want to celebrate Steve Jobs' death, but we'll see your face, and those are the only video comments I'll moderate through. I want to see you celebrate someone's death. If you have the nerve to do that on record. Doesn't even show to call it a lack of respect it's not enough. It's deeper than that. We're geeks. Either way, that one little tweet really got under my skin. And why record the video now as I'm driving? Because I tend to think and drive. I'm not the only one, I'm sure. And I talk to myself anyway, so I might as well record it. Anyway. Let me know your thoughts.